Hi, are you a huge nerd? Well, stick around. Traders, it is the Ergodic something or other. I don't even know what this is. I should know what this is for a couple reasons. One, I'm also a huge nerd. Two, this has been around a little while, which we'll talk about in a moment. But I'm happy we're doing this now. I like it when we have really interesting indicators to show, and I think this is one of them. So let's get into it. Before we do that, understand, if you're new, this is not going to make a whole lot of sense. Don't ask silly questions in the comments section. What you need to do instead is get caught up. Go to nononsenseforex.com, read the first page, click on that first video, the beginner's video, and get yourself caught up. It's going to take time, but if you're not willing to put in time, then why are you even here? There really are no shortcuts in this game. So get yourself caught up, join us, and once you've done that, now we can go on to the next slide. The specs for the Ergodic indicator. The year is going to be 1995. This is 1 year before the 1996 non-threshold we like to see here at the channel. But this is a William Blau indicator. What do y'all know about William Blau? Now, his contributions to our space cannot be understated. This guy's the man, and he was ahead of his time too. A lot of times when you get these older indicators, there's code that just doesn't translate really well. Sometimes there's buggy code. From what Dan and his coders have been saying, this thing is pretty darn clean inside now, and was actually served as the basis for a lot of indicators we've seen in the future. So this one's pretty important. It's going to be a confirmation indicator. Once we're done with it, it's going to be a zero cross. We'll talk about that as well. So much to talk about today. And as far as an exit indicator, it could be, depending on which form you use. So let's take a look at it in its original form. It looks like this. Now, you've seen these before, these two lines cross indicators that run pretty tightly together. So once the green crosses and closes past the red, that is your signal to go long, and once it does the opposite, that is your signal to go short. Now, I will ask you, if you were to get this indicator for the first time and open it up and look at it, just right off the bat, how many different ways could you make this into an indicator that we use here at No Nonsense Forex? I mean, I could tell you right now there's at least 3. So what you could do is just keep it in its original form. That's one. You could add a zero cross or a midline and then remove one of these lines and test it that way. That's 2. And then you can simply just test the other line the same way. That's 3. And you run them side by side, and you see which one turns out the best, and that's the one you go with. It's pretty simple at the end of the day. I wish I knew this or was aware of this back in the day when I was first testing these. So if you don't know, or if you didn't if you didn't have 3 different ways to test when I asked you, that's okay, that's normal, you do know now. And so you can really get the most out of these new indicators when you see them for the first time, because most people don't. Most people have no idea how to do something like this, and that just puts you that much further ahead of everybody else. Because what we did is we actually took the red line, the moving average line, and made that into a zero cross. And that turned out to be the best version of what we have. Now, what's interesting is just because this is the best that we found, that has nothing to do with your system. So you need to be taking all 3 of the versions we talked about and any other ones you can come up with and testing those in your system. This is a gift. If something is giving you 3 different ways to test it, you need to be taking full advantage of that. And with the exit indicator possibilities, this is obviously what I'm talking about. Anytime you see an indicator like this with the 2 lines crossed that are close together like this, it can be a very good candidate for an exit indicator, and you should be testing that as well. But we will be testing this one on the show today. So let's go ahead and get into that. Actually, before we do, understand that, like I said before, it only matters how this performs in your system. Do not take our results too seriously one way or the other. Now, if you don't know how to test these, that's fine. I got so much information down below in the description, it's going to blow your mind. First off, I have a link to my blog, my automation blog, that has a video showing you how to test this yourself on the MT4 strategy tester. Might these be available in MT5 and TradingView? Sure. A simple Google search or AI search will get you there. But we keep the standard here of having everything on MT4 because that's just the easiest way to do it, and that's where the MT4 strategy tester is. But we will give you the blog, which gives you all the information you need on any other forms of this indicator, the tweak settings we use, the coding, the history, anything you want to know is going to be right there. Dan Stone from Stonehill Forex, who gives you the blog, also has his own YouTube channel where he will show you this thing moving in real time on the 1 minute chart just to show that it doesn't repaint, and add some extra information that I don't. So that's worth going to as well. Now, if you have any indicators you would like to send us for testing, we decline most of them because they underperform, but you can't win if you don't play. Send it to the email address down below in the description instead of mentioning it in the comments section. Please do that. And then don't forget, the #1 place in internet history that people go, it's the indicator library where you can download the Ergodic indicator and all of the indicators we have done here at the Indicator Profile Series. Let's go ahead and see how this thing did in the form that we prefer on the Euro USD. So pretty good, quite good actually. This is after we've started testing things this new way, which we're still getting used to, by the way, together. We get lower results, but they're a lot more accurate. This is good. We're averaging probably in the mid-5s somewhere, maybe low 6s. So this is really nice for one indicator on the largest Forex pair. And look at that win-loss ratio. That's like what, 14 out of 16? Before you even add other indicators to prevent further losses. Like, I have a feeling you can probably do something with that. Let's move over to gold. Now, again, this could be gold. This could be good for gold. Based on how we do things now, but I wouldn't be happy with that. I think you can do much better with an indicator, but I could be wrong. Who knows? I would like to see bigger numbers here, but the win-loss ratio is nice, and the signals are high. These are the two things I think you should be looking even closer at because this is probably going to affect your trading more, especially the signals, really. If you're a more active trader, or if you're a metals trader who only trades gold or just gold and silver, this might be a good number for you because that number is going to go down when you start adding other indicators, so it's not too crazy high. You don't want something that gives you like 150 signals. That's not going to give you any ROI because you're constantly moving in and out. But for example, if I was strictly a metals trader and I could get this number down to about 40, I would be pretty happy with that on the daily chart. Moving over to the S&P above average in terms of ROI that we've been seeing on here. Much lower signals, nice high win-loss ratio, just depends on how you want to play that one. And then ending off with Bitcoin. So I'm trying to determine if this is good for Bitcoin or not in this new way we test. I just don't know yet. It seems low, but it might actually be pretty darn good. Bitcoin is finally getting the liquidity in it that's making it move more maturely, which is nice. It makes it easier to chart. So we might need to expect this moving forward. But again, look at the signals too. Look at the really nice win-loss ratio and decide if this is for you. Now, did you like this episode of the Indicator Profile Series? Could you at least give me a thumbs up? But beyond that, you should be subscribing to this channel and hitting the bell. It is all things finance here. We do a lot of indicator stuff here. We do investing stuff with my 10-Minute Contrarian podcast, which goes to YouTube. We have a trading psychology podcast, which also broadcasts to YouTube. I don't want you to miss anything. You need every advantage you can get in this game, and nobody sets you up for that like this channel does. But it only matters if you're putting in the work, so make sure you're putting in the work. Go get it.